we're here, and we all know we're here, and we all know we're surviving. I thought it'd be like more of a class than actually being the most like free place ever.
I never thought I'd hang out with teenagers. Teenagers scared me.
My case manager at school said, hey, I have this friend, she runs this really cool art group, and I said, I'm not going. And she said, you know, I emailed your mom wants you to go, I'm gonna meet you there, your mom's gonna take you. I said, I'm not going. To make sure I didn't get grounded, I went. I kind of realized that it wasn't a therapy group, it was a place for people to feel safe.
We invited a group of teenagers to come in and become a part of the museum and help us plan things from a teen perspective and take ownership for the arts in our community. So then I found myself sitting in this room of 15 to 20 teenagers once a week. They're loud and they say foul language on occasion, and it's actually kind of funny, and I don't know, I found out that I could relate. In hanging out with them, I would hear what's happening in their lives, in their day-to-day lives, and how stressed out they were about school, and then I'm like, yeah, all those things. There was another thread that was coming through. Anxiety seemed to be a little bit more intense. Because of the challenges our community has had with teen suicide in our schools, I think there's been 7 in the last 5 years, I started thinking about how the museum might provide programs or space around helping kids find their voice.
I think when we say like survival, maybe seems a little bit dramatic. It is an art for survival class.
I look at it as art to save the person who was contemplating suicide. Art to save the person who was going to drag themselves through life and was essentially going to die inside. The artist who was told that art will take them nowhere, they survive.
Survival, being able to overcome obstacles in which that may have threatened your well-being. Helena is definitely has dealt with a lot of suicides. Last year at Helena High, we had 2 suicides. Since I started high school, there's been at least 1 suicide each year. When I hear something that happens or someone talks to me about it, it'll bring up my own past of dealing with it, with family and myself personally. It definitely brings up a lot of emotions quickly. It's 5th grade. That's actually when I tried acting on it. The one thing that always got me was after I came out of the hospital, my counselor's like, it's gonna be okay. I wish someone told me that. It's gonna be okay. You can't just end it all. You have so much waiting for you. It will get better. You just have to really plow through the hard times, even though it's super hard too.
I didn't think there was anyone to talk to, because I was scared about what they would think, or they would be like, oh, buck up.
Yeah, I thought my dad was just
That's the one thing that peeves me off. They're like, oh, you overreact. You're so dramatic. Teenagers. Oh.
It's been a huge coping mechanism. There's a dialogue between everyone, and it's more of a community instead of just a class. And we're able to talk about the things that are weighing on our minds, and it can be really dangerous if you just hold it all inside, because at some point you're going to just kind of break, and it's going to be bad. And I think here you can just be what you are. Being in Helena and being a minority, I think it's kind of difficult because there aren't people who are like you. I mean, even in elementary school, people would make fun of me saying I have a really flat face. I've heard people kind of throw around the word chink. And I know I'm not the only one who hears that. I have friends who hear things about the way their body looks or the way their hair looks. It's definitely ostracizing others, but they're like, oh, well, they're different, and so I guess they're bad. Mental health has become taboo, and people haven't wanted to talk about it, but we really need to work on making that a thing so people get the help that they need without feeling ostracized.
I write to give people a better idea on what happens when you have mental illnesses and how things go through your head when you're dealing with mental illnesses. So I guess I don't really look for the reaction of pity, I look for the reaction of understanding. When I was in 5th grade, I was diagnosed with bipolar. I have incredible family and supports, but it's really hard to deal with the depression and the anxiety. In Art for Survival, there's at least one person who's going through one of the same things you're going through. And it's really nice to know that it's not just you and there's another person out there who will support you in any way that you need it. The minute we walk through those doors, we know we're accepted and we know we're in a safe place. Coming here really just makes me feel like I'm not alone. I like acrylics the best. It's kind of a start over thing for me because it's like if you make a wrong stroke, you can paint over it with white and start all over again. It's like there's no end to what you can do with it.
There's theories in psychology and education of flow. Getting to a space in your life experience where you're so involved in something that time and hunger and things like that kind of fall away because you're enjoying what you're working on, and that can happen when you're playing with art materials or listening to music or writing a story or experiencing art. I mean, it's not, well, I almost said it's not something that's going to heal the world, but I kind of feel like it could.
I've really had to work on accepting like the art for the art that it is. I guess that's one of my big issues, is not being able to let things go and really holding on to things needing to be perfect and needing to be how I envisioned them, which makes a lot of things very, very difficult. Yeah, it lets you take the things that you feel and let them go.
The art is everything in Art for Survival. It's the people, it's the places, it's the things we see, the things we do. That is the art in Art for Survival.
Okay, so this one is going to be about the future. You get to use your imagination again, and imagine you are given a ticket and you can take that ticket and go to anywhere in the future. What are you doing? Where are you? What is around you? I want you to start by writing about what you see the minute you get off that ride. So anyone feel like they want to share what you...
I don't know, I said growing up I always felt like my existence was like negative space of whoever I'm supposed to be. I think that space is slowly filling. I think I will continue to be here because I got stuff I need to do and people I gotta see. So now that you have to picture a world where you exist, it's really difficult.
We have kids that have come in and maybe didn't say anything for the first month, that all of a sudden start talking or referring to each other as friends.
There isn't this filter on it where you have to be afraid, and you're so much more comfortable with the people that you're able to be yourself and able to talk about what you want and need to talk about.
I read an article a while ago, but they were saying how this generation is like the most depressed and like more filled anxiety.
What do you think is affecting you now that maybe Chelsea and I didn't have when we were in high school?
I don't know, I think being a teenager is really difficult. We are living in a society where we burn ourselves out, like young. So much of our time is crafted around this ideal future. A lot of us are so young, we don't have any idea what that ideal future is.
Like, things are in full throttle for us. There's so many things that just take up our space, like phones and stuff. And so I just think that when we get so wrapped up in technology and not pay attention to the little things around the world, we just lose that mindset of taking a step back and looking at the big picture of how awesome it is to be alive. So that's why it's so important to be creative and just to take a hike or something. Like, yeah. It's just
take a hike.
It's important to maintain relationships with healthy, good people.
I know for myself that the best learning experiences have not been based in school.
Their life and love and your compassion for others and
Traveling
and meeting people, yeah.
Society is not just English, math, and sciences. It is also our art and our architecture and our kindness. Every single time I come here, my mood is 100% improved. I feel a lot smarter, I feel a lot more creative, To have a group of people where they don't even have to tell you that they're going to support you, you just know that these are people who are guided to art and to talent and to camaraderie is really amazing. It can be really difficult to find yourself a safe place where you can express yourself in ways that you never imagined. But Art for Survival is just kind of like, our arms are open. Make something, create something, be yourself, express yourself.
It's like probably the safest place I can come to. I don't know, I'm really glad we have it here, Holter Art Museum. I never thought I'd ever be part of it. It's super cool to having an art museum open like with a bunch of groups and helping with people with financial issues. We're able to come and not worry about money. If you're an artsy fartsy kind of kid, you need to come over here because this is gonna like open your life up to so many things. I mean, it's what's kept me going.
Teens need it. They need a space where they can be themselves and they can be accepted and they can just come and sit with what they're feeling and put it into these great pieces of art or great pieces of writing.
I feel like Art for Survival is providing a niche. I want them to leave with confidence, maybe confidence they didn't have before. They no longer feel alone. Perhaps they've learned that who they are is beautiful and they're valuable human beings. Connecting with art can make your life better.
The biggest thing that Art for Survival has taught me so far is that I have the tools. I will make the tools if I need to build up myself, build up others, improve myself, improve others through art, through music, through writing, through friendship. It's everything I've needed. It has definitely changed my life.